Have you ever opened your mouth to speak to a native English speaker, and suddenly your brain completely deletes every single word you have ever learned?
Oh, I know that feeling so well. Your palms get sweaty, you freeze up, and you just nod and smile, praying they didn't just ask you a complicated question. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily English Loop. I'm Lisa, and I'm so incredibly excited to be here with you all today.
And I'm Alex. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic today. Mostly because I'm currently holding the biggest, strongest cup of dark roast coffee I could possibly find. It's giving me all the energy I need to dive into today's topic.
And I've got my refreshing iced jasmine green tea. So, Alex, we're skipping the boring grammar books today. What's on the menu?
Survival. Specifically, daily English survival phrases. Knowing all the vocabulary in the world won't help if you don't know the natural, everyday sentences native speakers actually use in the real world.
Exactly. These phrases are the secret to sounding natural and confident. So, if you're ready to fill up your English toolbox, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button right now. Alex, my tea is ready, your coffee is kicking in. Let's dive in. What's our first category?
Let's start at the very beginning of any conversation. Greetings. In textbooks, you always learn, hello, how are you? But out in the real world, native speakers use a lot of different, more relaxed greetings.
Absolutely. If I walk into my favorite bakery, the baker doesn't say, hello, how are you? He usually looks at me and says, hey Lisa, how's it going?
How's it going is such a perfect phrase. It's incredibly friendly, very natural, and you'll hear it everywhere in the United States and the UK. But Lisa, does it mean the exact same thing as how are you?
It's very similar, but it feels much less formal. It's just a warm way to acknowledge someone. And the best part is, you don't need to give a long, complicated answer. If someone asks me, how's it going? I simply say, it's going well, thanks. Or even just, good, thanks.
Good, thanks is easy to remember. Now, what about the phrase, what's up? I hear that in movies and on television all the time. Can I use that with everyone?
That's a great question. What's up is extremely casual. It's a fantastic phrase, but you have to know your audience. You should really only use it with your close friends, your siblings, or people your own age in a relaxed setting.
So I probably shouldn't walk into a formal performance review with my manager and say, hey, what's up?
Definitely not. If you say what's up to your boss, they might think you aren't taking your job seriously. In a professional environment, sticking to how are you today or good morning is a much safer, more respectful choice.
Okay, so we have how are you today for formal situations, how's it going for casual daily life, and what's up for our best friends. That makes perfect sense. Now let's move on to the magic words of English culture, being polite.
Being polite is everything. We all know please and thank you, but there are a few other phrases that act like social glue. The biggest one is excuse me.
I probably use excuse me 10 times a day. It's the perfect polite interruption. For example, if you're on a crowded subway train and you need to get to the door, you don't push people. You just gently say, excuse me, and people will naturally move out of your way.
It's also the best way to start a conversation with a stranger if you need help. If you're lost in a new city, you shouldn't just walk up to someone and shout, "Where is the museum?" That sounds very aggressive.
Right. You should use it as a polite buffer. You approach them, smile, and say, excuse me, do you know where the museum is? It shows that you respect their time.
Now, here's another common situation. What happens if that stranger gives you the directions, but a fire truck drives by and makes a loud noise, and you don't hear a word they said?
Oh, I hate when that happens. You definitely shouldn't say what. It can sound a bit rude. Instead, you can use the word sorry. but you have to use it with a rising intonation. You say it like a question. Sorry?
Sorry? With that upward pitch is a brilliant trick. It instantly tells the other person, I apologize, but I didn't catch what you just said.
And if you want to be even more clear and polite, especially if they're speaking too quickly for you, you can use a full sentence. You can say, could you repeat that, please?
Could you repeat that, please? Is a lifesaver for English learners. Don't be embarrassed to use this phrase. Native speakers are almost always happy to slow down and say it again if you ask politely.
Exactly. Okay, let's take these polite phrases and go shopping. This is where so many people feel anxious because money is involved. Let's imagine we're in a really cool, independent bookstore.
I love bookstores. Okay, so you find a beautiful leather-bound notebook, but there's no price tag on it anywhere. What do you do?
I'd take the notebook, walk up to the cashier, and ask, "Excuse me, how much is this?" It's short, direct, and perfectly polite.
How much is this? It works for a notebook, it works for a car, it works for anything. And let's say the cashier tells you it's $15. You think that's a fair price, and you decide to purchase it. What's the natural thing to say next?
I'd smile and say, "Great, I'll take it."
I'll take it is the universal signal that you're ready to buy. Now, what if we leave the bookstore and go to my favorite place in the world, the cafe? Ordering food or drinks can be tricky.
It really can. A lot of learners translate directly from their native language, and they end up saying things like, "Give me a tea." In English, starting a sentence with "give me" sounds like a command. It sounds a little angry.
Yes, you sound like a bank robber. Give me the coffee. You never want to order like that. The magic phrase for ordering anything in a restaurant or cafe is, "Can I have?"
Yes. "Can I have a jasmine green tea, please?" Or for you, "Can I have a large dark roast coffee, please?" It's soft, polite, and very natural.
And then, when you're completely finished with your drinks and you want to leave, you need to pay. You just catch the waiter's eye and say, "Can I get the check, please?"
Or, depending on where you're traveling, you might say, "Can I get the bill, please?" In the US, people often say check, but in the UK or Australia, they usually say bill. Both are perfectly understood everywhere, though.
Good point. All right, let's shift gears. What if you aren't asking for things, but you want to be a good person and offer help to someone else?
I love offering help. It's a great way to make friends. Let's say I'm at the office and I see you carrying a massive, heavy stack of folders, and you look like you're about to drop them all over the floor.
Please help me in that situation. Don't just watch me struggle.
I wouldn't. I'd rush over and say, "Can I help you with that?" Or a slightly more casual version, "Do you need a hand with that?"
Do you need a hand is a fantastic idiom. It just means, do you need physical assistance? If you say that to me, I'll probably say, "Oh, wow, yes, please. Thank you so much."
And when someone says thank you so much, the classic textbook response is, "You're welcome." But honestly, Lisa, I don't say "you're welcome" very often.
I don't either. It can sometimes feel a bit formal. If a friend says thank you, I almost always reply with "no problem" or "anytime."
No problem is so relaxed. It tells the other person that helping them was easy and a pleasure. Okay, Lisa, here's a question for you. When someone is telling you a long story, how do you show them that you're actually paying attention without interrupting them?
You have to use listening noises. This is a crucial skill. If I'm telling you a story and you just sit there completely frozen, staring at me in silence, I'm going to think you're bored or that you don't understand me.
Exactly. You have to give little verbal signals. When the other person is speaking, I nod my head and say little things like, "Mm-hmm," or "yeah."
And if they explain a complicated situation, you can say, "I see." It doesn't mean you're looking at something with your eyes. It means, "I understand your point."
What if they tell you something surprising, like, I won a free trip to Hawaii?
Then you have to show excitement. You'd say, really? Or no way? And if they finish the story on a happy note, you can use phrases like, that's awesome, or that's fantastic.
That's awesome is one of my favorite phrases. It makes the other person feel really good about whatever they just shared with you. It builds a great connection.
Speaking of connections, eventually every conversation has to end. Saying goodbye is perfectly fine, but there are much warmer ways to leave a conversation.
If I know I'm going to see you again later that exact same day, I'll say, see you later, Lisa.
But if we're leaving the recording studio for the weekend and I won't see you for a few days, I'd say, see you soon, or have a great weekend.
And a very sweet, caring way to say goodbye to anyone, a friend, a coworker, or even a cashier, is take care. It literally means take care of yourself. It leaves a very positive, warm impression.
Take care is beautiful. Okay, Alex, I think our listeners have a huge toolbox of phrases now. Let's put them to the test. Let's do some quick role plays to show how these phrases link together in real life.
I love role plays. Let's start with a classic scenario, meeting someone completely new, but let's make it fun. Imagine we're both attending a weekend cooking class. We're learning how to make homemade Italian pasta, and we end up standing at the same cooking table.
Perfect. I'll start. Excuse me, is anyone standing here?
No, it's all yours. Go ahead.
Thanks. I'm Lisa, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Lisa. I'm Alex.
So, Alex, what brings you to a pasta making class on a Saturday morning?
Honestly, I just really love eating pasta. I'm a terrible cook, so I'm hoping to learn some basic skills. How about you?
Same here, but it's a great class, isn't it? The chef is hilarious.
He really is. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
And scene. That was so smooth. Notice how we didn't use big, complicated vocabulary. We just used simple, friendly phrases. Nice to meet you, what brings you here, and it's a great class, isn't it?
That tag question at the end, isn't it, is a brilliant way to invite the other person to agree with you and keep the conversation flowing. Okay, let's do another scenario. This time, let's go to the workplace.
Workplace conversations require a delicate balance. You want to be polite, but you also need to express your professional opinions.
Exactly. Let's imagine our boss just proposed a brand new schedule for our podcast, but it means we have to work on Sundays. I'll ask for your opinion. So, Lisa, what do you think about the new Sunday recording schedule?
If I totally love the idea, I'd simply say, I agree with the new plan. I think it's a great idea.
But what if you hate the idea? You shouldn't just shout, no, that's a terrible idea. You're wrong.
No, that will get you fired. If I disagree, I need to soften my language. I'd say, I'm not so sure about that. It's a gentle way of saying I disagree.
Or if you want to sound incredibly professional, you can validate my opinion before you disagree. You could say, I see your point, but I'm worried about losing our weekend rest.
I see your point, but is the ultimate business phrase. It shows respect for their idea while allowing you to introduce a different perspective. It's very mature communication.
Definitely. Okay, one final scenario. Let's say I just moved into a brand new apartment downtown and I invite you over to see it for the first time.
Oh, a housewarming visit. This is the perfect time for compliments. So I walk up to your door and knock. You open the door. Hey, Alex, thanks so much for inviting me over.
Lisa, so glad you could make it. Please come on in.
I brought you a little something. It's a bag of my favorite dark roast coffee beans. This is for you.
Oh, that's so thoughtful of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Wow, Alex, you have a beautiful place. The natural light in here is amazing.
Thank you. I'm still unpacking, but I really love it so far.
And scene. Compliments are like magic words. When you visit someone's home, you should always find something nice to say. "You have a beautiful place," or "I love how you decorated this room." It immediately makes the host feel proud and happy.
It really does. People love to feel appreciated. Being a great English speaker isn't just about perfect grammar. It's about making the people around you feel comfortable and valued.
Wow, Alex, we've covered an incredible amount of ground today. From casual greetings at the bakery to handling business disagreements and giving compliments.
My brain is full. Let's do a super quick rapid-fire recap so our listeners can lock these phrases into their memory.
Good idea. Number 1, greetings. Move beyond "how are you" and try using "how's it going" in your daily life.
Number 2, politeness. Remember to use "excuse me" to get attention and a rising "sorry" or "could you repeat that please" if you don't understand someone.
Number 3, shopping and ordering. Drop the demanding "give me" and start using the polite "can I have" followed by a "please."
Number 4, active listening. Show people you care about their stories by using listening noises like "I see," "really?" and "that's awesome."
Number 5, disagreeing professionally. Never say "you're wrong." Use the sophisticated phrase "I see your point, but..."
And finally, leave a positive impression with a warm goodbye like "see you later" or a genuine "take care."
If you can master just these few phrases, your English will sound so much more natural, and your confidence will absolutely skyrocket. Remember, communication is about connection, not perfection.
That's our favorite rule here at the Daily English Loop. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to try.
Before we wrap up this episode, we have a little homework assignment for our amazing listeners.
We want to hear from you. Please go down to the comment section below this video or podcast track and tell us which of the phrases we talked about today is your absolute favorite.
Or, even better, write a little sentence using one of the new phrases you learned today. Practice makes perfect, and we read every single comment. It's the highlight of our day.
It truly is. We love seeing our global community practicing together. If you found today's survival guide helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the Daily English Loop.
Share this episode with your study buddies, your classmates, or anyone who wants to sound more like a native speaker. Let's grow this community together.
Thank you all so much for spending your time with us today. You're all doing an amazing job on your English journey.
Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember to use those magic words. I'm going to go refill my tea.
And I'm going to make some fresh coffee. Take care, everyone, and have a beautiful rest of your day.
See you in the next loop. Goodbye for now.